morning there, DBF family. Welcome back to the garage. As you can see behind me, the old rat rod wagon. So I've been working on this thing in the evenings and after work, and just tidying up a few ends to get this thing ready to do the blow apart and the final weld. So I have a couple extra days off of work, and that's what we're going to focus on. And let's see if we can get this thing done. What's next on this thing is the fuel delivery system. So as you can see, I got the tank mounted, and I actually quite like how that turned out. Very old school, I don't know what you call it, but I like the leather straps. Pretty proud of that because I'm not a leather worker at all, not even a little bit. Like I said, fuel system, that's what's up next. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this low pressure fuel system. This is obviously Amazon, sticking with the theme. Amazon fuel pump, it was like 20 bucks or something like that. Clickety clackety pump, you know, whatever you want to call it. This is a low pressure pump. I think it's 1.5 to 3 pounds, so it should not overpower the needle in the seat on the carburetor, so it shouldn't just sit there and just flow fuel through the carburetor and flood out the system. So gonna get this thing mounted, gonna pull the tank back off and weld in some bungs in the bottom of it and get this thing plumbed to where it'll accept some fuel from the fuel tank. Wow, that drill bit's really dull. All right, sharpen that drill bit. Let's see if that helps. It wasn't cutting it. Way better. Got the fuel pump mounted. Let me show you what I got to do to this fuel tank. In the past videos of this build, you guys remember I had to take and cut the center section of this out and weld in this saddle right here to fit over the steering column. So in order to get the fuel from this side of the tank and this side of the tank to draw evenly to the fuel pump, I built these little aluminum bushings that I will drill a hole in the tank and weld into there, and that one will sit just like that, and this one will sit just like that, and it'll have a hose in between the two with a T in it, so it'll pull and draw off of both sides of the tank evenly. So let's get these holes drilled in this thing, get these buggers welded in. Now the tricky part's going to be throwing some plugs in those two bungs that I just welded in, and see if it'll hold fluids. Hopefully it doesn't leak where we did a bunch of surgery to it. Fingers crossed. So I just got a phone call from a local rancher here in town, and he's in a little bit of a pickle. He's got a rock stuck in between his wheel and caliper on his side-by-side, and it jammed up and it actually broke the wheel. So he's going to bring it over, drop it off. Let's see if we can get a fix for him real quick. All right, got the wheel washed off. Let me kind of show you what I'm gonna do and what the process is gonna be to repair this wheel to give it the best possible chance of being repaired and being fixed permanently. I do not recommend welding on wheels. Disclaimer right there. What I'm gonna take is my die grinder with a whole bunch of different style bits, and before I even try to straighten this, I'm going to take and clean where all the cracks are that I can see, and get those cleaned up, opened up just a little bit, so when I go to weld I can actually get a decent penetration with the puddle in order for this to basically weld together and stick. So I'm going to go ahead, get these ground up. After I get those ground up, we will preheat the wheel and we will try to tap these dents basically back down in, and once we get those tapped down in, we'll go ahead and weld it up. So next step on this wheel repair is I'm going to take my torch and I'm going to heat the area where I've got to tap the aluminum back into place. Aluminum will always bend one way really easy without breaking, but it doesn't like to be bent back to its original form, I guess, without a little bit of heat, because if you don't heat it, more likely it's going to crack. So we're just going to heat it up a little bit, little teeny soft taps to get it to fold back into place, and then we'll weld this baby up. Well, we got her done. It's not the prettiest, but it'll work. I think it'll hold air just fine. It'll be just as strong as it was before. So glad to help these guys out, because without farmers and ranchers, guess what, guys? We don't have food. We don't have beef. We don't have anything to go in our bellies. So when you can help out a rancher or a farmer, make dang sure you can do her. I think this thing is officially all mocked up. Now it's time to blow this thing apart, do some finish welding on it, go back together for the last and final time. Well, good morning, guys. So I spent most of the evening last night welding the wagon cart frame together, and it's turned out pretty good. So next step before we do final assembly is I got to take the tub, the body, and do some final trimming around this thing. I thought I was going to get away with keeping some of the floor in it, but it's not going to work. It's all got to come out. So let's fire up a plasma cutter, get that thing cut, get her slapped on. The time has come to actually preserve the tub for this thing, and what we're going to use is this metalize. So Jed actually found this, and he's used this on his hot rod that he has, and it's pretty cool. It's basically like a clear coat for rust type stuff, I guess. Yeah, kind of a rust converter, but goes clear. So we're going to give it a shot, see what happens. All right, guys, just got home from work and back on the old wagon again this evening. So on this evening's agenda, I'm going to start on this floor pan. What the purpose of this floor pan is it's going to hide basically the wiring to the engine and the fuel pump. And the other thing I want to do is I want to hide the switches and the start button and all that underneath the seat to kind of help keep everything clean up above the motor, below the steering column and all that. So I've already started building my template out of poster board. I'll get that built and we'll transfer it over to sheet metal and get this thing finished up. Got the floor pan all built, got the holes drilled for my switches and my start button, got the tunnel built in it for the wires to go underneath it. The problem I'm running into is that looks like pretty new metal and I kind of want it to match the outside of this tub. And I've been going back and forth with patina. I want to patina, let's just go with that, the new metal to match the old tub. And I'm not real certain how to acid wash that and get the exact outcome that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint patina this. I'm actually going to attempt to paint patina this material. So got a bunch of paint, got a bunch of clear coat, and a whole bunch of other things to distress the paint. So let's see if we can get her done. I've never done this before. I've seen it on TV a couple times, but never tried it. I guess, if anything, if it doesn't work and it doesn't turn out how I like it, we'll just paint it until it looks like I want it to, I guess. Well, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I mean, by all means, it's not perfect, but this thing doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of building a project like this. There's no rules, so whatever your creative imagination can come up with is okay. And let's face it, I like it, so it's all that really matters at this point, I guess. I hope you guys like it, but I love it. So I'm gonna let this thing dry. I'm gonna do some wiring. We're gonna take this thing for a spin. Fuel pump on. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. That's gonna make the neighbors love me. Wow. Oh man, that's awesome. That's great. That little bugger's noisy. Love it. Woo. You ready, Jed?
Yeah, I guess so.
Guess so. You don't seem very excited.
I'm excited.
We're gonna go see if this thing will fire up and run. It's untested 100%. I'm gonna jump on it. Jed's gonna run on the ATC 70 and see if we can get some footage of this thing. Hopefully it works. Tight quarters, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, there's reverse. Oh, it's a wheelie monster, dude. It won't even turn. Oh, it's touchy. It's so touchy. I found its first problem. There's not enough weight on the front end to turn it. Lean forward. Huh? Lean forward. Oh shit! Well, I wouldn't say it's a failure. I guess I should turn that on, huh? Oh, that's funny. I was worried about that. Oh, it's scary uphill, dude. I'm not certain this is a great idea. Right there. It doesn't turn. It does this a lot. It just rides wheelies. We're gonna see if this thing will drive on the grass at least. Oh, hold on. Stop. Let's get a thumbnail of that in a wheelie. I'm serious.
Right, back up.
Yeah, don't die yourself though.
Got pretty good throttle control to do wheelies.
It does. Oh, that's great.
Definitely needs a wheelie bar.
Yes, it does. It's gonna take a nap right here. Oh, my gas is gonna kill my lawn. Well, I don't know if this is a look of defeat or what, but I was worried about that being a problem, and I didn't think it was going to be quite that big of a problem, but wow. We didn't math very well on that one. Maybe I just need to lose about 80 pounds.
It'd be fine.
Probably be fine then. Yeah, this thing doesn't want to turn for crap. So if the axle was back about that far, or if it had a open rear differential, it'd be just fine. So I'm not sure where we're gonna go at this point. It looks really cool. In a straight line, this thing is fast. I mean, it is quick. He was on a 3-wheeler trying to keep up and it just walk away from him. But everything works great other than the steering. It stops good. It goes really good in a straight line. And it does excellent wheelies. So I'm not real certain what's gonna happen at this point, but it'll be something. Fail hard, bad fail. But we can fix it. Yeah, it's a drag car. Yeah, quarter mile, eighth mile, 100 feet drag car, not circle track. So what we're thinking for the time being is PVC over the tires like the drift trikes, just for now. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you guys do to remedy this problem? Put it down in the comments. And man, this one ought to bring some haters out. Leave the hater comments. I don't care.
Bring them on.
I don't know what the right answer is here. I mean, I know what needs to be done for it to be better. Am I just, at this point, am I prolonging the inevitable? But I think whether the axle moves back or not, I think the open rear axle is going to make or break it. I mean, you think like the go-karts that have these live axles in it, they're that far behind the driver.
Yeah.
So your weight is so more
all the weight is
transferred
in front of the axle.
Yeah.
We're on top of it right now.
Well, actually, we're behind it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Freewheel axle or freewheel hub on this side. Brake will still work to stop it on that side and drive on that side. I think we're on the same page and we've made our decision. We just haven't done it yet. What do you think?
Tear down.
Let's tear down. Well, we're taking a perfectly good axle. It's a live axle. We're gonna put that idler wheel on this side. So instead of a 2-wheel pill, she's a 1-wheel pill.
Maybe she'll drive straight.
Well, maybe it'll actually turn. I don't think it's gonna solve all our problems.
Drive straight.
Oh, it does straight fine. It's the turning aspect that's just terrible. Absolutely horrible. Got it. So we about got the problem solved on the rear axle from being locked up. So this wheel is now an open wheel. We took a front hub and machined the axle down and put the front hub on the right hand side. So instead of a dual wheel pill, she's the old school open rear end wheel pill, so single wheel pill. So we're gonna get this thing bolted back on, go for take 2. New development. Just our luck, we're getting ready to take this thing for a rip, and yep, it's raining. And I don't know if it's gonna stop anytime soon. So, as soon as it stops raining, we'll go for a rip. Hey! Look at that! So much more fun. Not much room for activities. Not much room for activities, but couldn't have done this before. 3, please. Well, the old wagon didn't exactly turn out the way I wanted it to for the first test drive, but that's all right. These things, you know, when you build them from scratch, sometimes they just don't pan out like you'd hoped. But got an idea what we got to do to fix this thing, to stretch the rear axle behind the seat just a little bit, and I think that'll be what fixes this project. So if you guys like this project, make sure you're subscribe to the channel, and there's going to be more of this project. I guarantee you. We've actually got some power adders coming down the way and a few other things with this. And remember, we're going to build several of these things. This was just a prototype, so when we get this one done, we can go through and build the others so we have enough to go ride these things around. So that being said, I appreciate every single one of you, and thank you guys all for tuning in and watching.
Oh shit! He's gonna take a nap right here.